I'll answer any questions about the game. For me, it's hard to talk about the game when I was most concerned just for the safety of our players after the game. Like, I don't want to make it about that because Carolina, they played a great game to win, and that's a heartbreaking loss for our team. You know, I got staff members that got punched in the face. My family pushing people away, trying to not get trampled, and that's not what this game is about. And you give them all the credit in the world. It's not about the game, but obviously that was a scary ending, and this rivalry is not about that.
Who's ready to ruffle some feathers? Huddle up.
None! You don't want none!
What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? It is your favorite North Carolinian, Russ, the Tar Heel, and welcome to the men's department of Carolina basketball. And boy, do I got some men's department stuff for you guys today. Now, that little estrogen filled rant right there that you heard from Duke women's basketball coach Jon Scheyer, bitching about what transpired after Carolina completed the 13-point comeback on an absolute dagger by Seth Trimble in the corner.
Boozer switches onto him. Dixon the kick. Trimble! Got it! And
gave him the daggum nine-eyed sign afterwards, bro. Absolutely freaking legendary. Well, old Johnny boy, you know, decides to channel his feminine side. And he says, it's hard to talk about the game when I was most concerned about the safety of our players after the game. Like, I don't want to make it about that. But then he goes on to acknowledge, you know, very lightly, Carolina playing well down the stretch before he says, I got staff members that got punched in the face. Well, members, John? Like with an S? Like we're talking about plural, you had members get punched in the face. So let me get this straight. The ball is inbounded, and a couple of yahoos just come straight over to your bench and just start throwing haymakers. Is that what we're going with, bro? That's a real cool story. Like a super cool story, bro. Unfortunately for you and yours, I haven't seen a camera angle yet showing that occur. And it's 2026 and there's cameras everywhere for the Carolina Duke game, Johnny. Where is the proof, Johnny? Like, I will gladly condemn any group of morons that came over and did that to you and your team. But yeah, we're still waiting. We're still waiting for the video evidence, dude. Now, Johnny says he doesn't want to make the game about that. No, that's exactly what you want to deflect the conversation to, you sore freaking loser. The last thing that you want to talk about, Johnny, is Hubert Davis putting you over his lap and teaching you a good old-fashioned lesson on how to close out a freaking basketball game. Shout out to the old ball coach, by the way. That was a huge one. You know, HD, he puts the belt to your daddy K in his farewell tour at Tyler Hansbrough Indoor Stadium. He sends him packing, only to run into his ass again back at the Final Four, and then he shoves him in a locker again. So yeah, I'm sure after a loss like that, a complete meltdown by the Dukies, where our guys were tougher than your guys Saturday night, the last thing that you'd want to talk about is the actual freaking game. So when Scheyer talks about storming the floor and safety and all that good stuff, which I am for, obviously safety, he says that's not what this game is about. No, Johnny boy, that's everything that college sports is about. Storming the damn court after a huge come-from-behind win against your rival. And if you don't want to be down there in the mud, maybe you can coach from the booth like an offensive coordinator of a football team. I mean, with soft takes like you have, bro, you definitely ain't coaching the defense. You'll be safe and sound up there, Johnny boy. Safe and sound, dude. Maybe if you're scared, you can climb in one of your assistant coach's pockets after the game. Maybe that doesn't happen and your team doesn't have that epic collapse like you did. You're not going to have to worry about it. You don't want college fans storming the floor when you drop one against your rival on the road? Then here's a clue. Don't lose the game in such an epic fashion. But this isn't the first time that old Johnny got in his feelings after a tough loss. He did the same thing when Wake stormed the floor after beating the Doogies back in 2024. You remember when old Filipowski actually throws an elbow at a Wake fan rushing the court, and then he feigns an injury like a stinking lady, dude. Watching that dude wince as they carried him off the floor when he, like, clearly every camera angle possible showed that he didn't get injured was one of the softest things that I've ever seen in my life, bro. I have never faked an injury. Surely not after losing the game, bro. Soft. But unfortunately for old Flip, after literally saying that the Wake fans intentionally injured him, gosh, bro, so soft. The cameras show him as the clear aggressor, and ironically enough, he missed no time after having to be helped off the court, dude. Some freaking injury. And old Johnny boy didn't have enough integrity to come out and acknowledge that it was a lie. That all his players are actually warm chocolate chip cookie soft. Duke likes to pretend that they're tough until they figuratively get punched in the stinking mouth. Not literally, John. Figuratively. Then that little tiny heart syndrome shows itself, and John Boy starts talking about safety, and he doesn't want to talk about the daggone basketball game. Hell, he says that one of his staff members got trampled in the presser he put out today. Listen.
Update on the staff member who was injured on Saturday night.
Yeah, so he's fine. And
spit it out, Johnny boy.
After the game, what happened was I came back in the locker room, and Ozzy's got a bloody lip and he's disheveled and he didn't know what happened. He got trampled on the floor.
So what is it, dude? He got trampled on the floor? Well, that's a little bit different than getting punched in the mouth, killer. Oh, Russ, you don't have any class. No lying about the class of our fans punching your staff members in the face because you're a sore loser is a lack of freaking class, bro. And I'm personally not going to just idly stand by while there's no evidence to substantiate your outlandish claim, John. Now, I'll admit, I don't know all the details about what transpired. What I do know is that being punched in the face and trampled are two very different things that spark two very different conversations. The point is that we need to stop the tough facade, bro. I don't want to hear any of these dookies tell me how their program is built different, unless by different you mean a marshmallow over a fire smashed between a graham cracker and a piece of melted Hershey's chocolate during a hot summer night, dude. So you let me know what you think about the leader of the Bitch Brigade down in the comment section, Tar Heel Nation and college basketball family. I'm talking to you too, Duke Nation. Have to start calling you guys the daggum imps. Bunch of baby devils. Go to hell, Duke. We'll see you in Durham.